He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Hey boys. Hey boys, week 15, how's it going? Week 15. Hi, Queeve.
Hi, Mike. Just muting my phone. So many people be ringing me, you know.
Yeah, the usual. Okay, boys, week 15, we're just saying there. Yeah, the season is nearly on us. We're at the semi-final stage of the fantasy season. And getting down to the real nitty-gritty of who's going to be in, who's going to be out of the playoffs. Obviously, there's still a lot up for grabs, especially on the AFC side. The NFC is looking pretty home and hosed. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad, no at all.
There's one thing I want to say, all right? Are we going to have a Battle of the Beards competition at some stage? What's the...
I don't think mine's going to last much longer, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
are you getting the old scratchies?
No, I just...
Christmas time coming up, the old lady giving you
It was more
grief.
It was more laziness than anything.
Yeah.
I think might have to shave it for Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I was going for this play. I know you hate hearing about this, but I was told I had to get rid of the beard. But no, that's no more. So the beard is here to stay. Okay, so news.
Another slow news week.
Hey,
There were a lot of injuries, which is the main news that we have to report.
Well, it's the main news every week, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. The main injury being the Red Rifle has been shot down. He made the mistake of trying to actually tackle somebody, which, as you know, quarterbacks should never do, and he broke his thumb. I think he broke it or he sprained it. Either way, he's out till, for more than likely, the regular season. Andy Dalton, we're talking about, in case you don't know.
It's one of those scenarios, okay? And you can apply this to when I was coaching rugby. I used to always say this. If you make a mistake, don't compound it by making another mistake. Same when you're playing poker. You make a mistake, you have to know when to quit and just move on to the next play.
Humble brag.
Well, it's not a humble brag. It's just fucking just if you fuck up, just take it up the hole and move on.
Oh, definitely.
Rather than getting
in this scenario,
gangbanged.
Quarterbacks should never be tackling anybody because
Yeah.
they're so fucking fragile and weak in general.
Yeah. No. Saying that, they're backup, and this probably is the year of the backup QB. There's so many of them in the league at this stage, AJ McCarron, I think he won a championship with Alabama a couple of years ago. So he's not like well, obviously he's a rookie, but he's been on a championship winning side before. So and it's funny, like the whole thing about everybody saying that Cincinnati Bengals would do nothing in the postseason with Andy Dalton. Now that they don't have Andy Dalton, they're saying, they can't do anything in the postseason without him. So you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. If you're the Bengals.
Well, when McCarron came on, he wasn't too bad at all. He was, you think these backup quarterbacks, all they do is hand off the ball, but he actually threw quite a few deep balls. Now, obviously, all of them didn't hit the targets, but
Yeah, he did throw a pick kind of late on, which was the kind of the nail in the coffin as well. But saying that, the game, I can't remember now exactly what was the final score.
It was 33-20.
Yeah, so but it was closer than that. Obviously Pittsburgh are looking strong at the moment, and they've got another crucially important. Are they still on the outside looking in though on the AFC playoffs?
Yeah, they're in the wild card. They're pretty solidly in the wild card.
Are they in the wild card? No, yeah, with themselves and the Chiefs, so isn't it?
And
but
the Jets, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of water to go under that bridge yet before the last wild card spot is nailed
There's
down.
going to be a
in the
team
AFC.
that isn't going to make the wild card spot with a very good record.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's the Jets.
Okay, so what other news
Only
do we?
messing deck.
What other news do we? Well, the other, of course, the other injury was, and we were bigging him up last week, for the reader's
Were we?
question. Yeah, the Seattle Seahawks Rolls.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about Brian Hoyer. Anyway, Brian Hoyer went off with a concussion. Enough. That's enough said about that. Yeah, Tommy, you're all out for the season. Broken ankle. Horrific result for me and my fantasy team. The guy, he's been so good since he came in for Lynch that wouldn't surprise me to see him get the job next year.
Yeah, and as much as I love Marshawn Lynch, there's just been a bit of an attitude about him, and I think it's the whole kind of hangover from the Super Bowl last year. It's just been hanging around like a bad stink. And I think they were finally kind of moving on from that. And as much as I love Marshawn Lynch, there just seemed to be a kind of a clean, more like a breath of fresh air around Rawls. Now, obviously, Lynch, if he's come back, we're not going to say no, Marshawn.
Well, there's a good chance he could retire because he was thinking about it last off season.
Yeah,
he's just a bit of a strange fish, isn't he?
He's a weirdo. He is a bit of a weirdo. Like he's what you call ornery.
Word of the week.
I won't say any more than that, okay?
New segment.
He's ornery.
Word of the week.
So like I know there's a bit of two-stepping then as to who's gonna fill Marshawn Lynch's stroke Rawls position in the running back. I know Freddie Jackson, he looked poor enough really, and are they after there was a Bryce Jones or somebody
Bryce Brown.
They dropped him, they picked him up, so it's a bit of yamming there. But they got Cleveland at home this week. So, well, like the way Russell Wilson is spreading the ball around, Doug Baldwin is absolutely on fire at the moment.
And Tyler Lockett.
Not Darren. That's another one of my Eric Decker.
Yeah. What were you calling him last week?
I was calling him Darnell.
Darnell Lockett.
Well, because there is a Darnell, I sorry lads, I make mistakes, and these are my brain is just like a bit of crossed wiring, like if you've seen what I've done to my head over the years, you'd understand that.
Oh God. All right, enough Tommy Rawls praise, but yeah, I do think that he should get a good spot, a good run next season because he was phenomenal before he went down.
Well, like broken ankle, it's very unusual to hear of a broken ankle as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what happened to him.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Two other running backs went down for the season this weekend: LeGarrette Blount and TJ Yeldon. Neither of which, like Yeldon, probably did put up some good numbers. Blount wasn't doing a whole lot, but at the same time, he's very precious in the playoffs for the Patriots. He usually.
Well, he usually has his five touchdown week against. Well, maybe the Colts might even make it in this year, but he seems to be
no chance the Colts are making it.
Yeah, like Garrett Blount seems to be one of these flat track bullies. When it comes down to the big games against a tough opposition, he just doesn't seem to cut it, But well, we'll see what this brings for Belichick's. Obviously, the other obviously the Gronk played last week as well, which
and got a touchdown. Yeah.
And
looked okay.
He looked all right.
I think they limited him a bit, but he did look good. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've signed Monty Ball to the practice squad after this latest running back casualty. So we don't know if he's gonna come straight in and take the majority of the snaps ahead of.
Yeah,
Bolden,
well,
James
Monty
White.
Ball is like a major cast off. Like he was one of these guys. He was with the Broncos 2 years ago, and he was going to be the next big thing, being Peyton Manning's running back. I remember he being really high up in the draw for the fantasy football rankings. He was first round, late second round pick. Then just managed to. He got injured, didn't he? C.J. Anderson came in and took a spot. Then they released him. I think he started off at the start of this season with The Dolphins, I was it last year. He was with the Dolphins, but they've let him go. So obviously he's been just doing nothing for the last while. So he's, we'll see if he can make it.
He's
go
been
of
given
it.
another lifeline.
Another lifeline, yeah. There's plenty of those kind of running backs around.
Yeah. All right, that's the news.
No, there's
Is it?
one final piece of news.
Enlighten me, us.
Well, I put a post up on the NFL with Cork Accent Facebook page a while ago. Brady is backing Trump in the American presidential election. So that just, I'm not casting aspersions, no, you piece of shit. But that just shows what kind of character Tom Brady is, Trump.
I personally couldn't give a fuck about his character as long as he keeps throwing touchdowns and winning Super Bowls for my team.
Oh yeah, you'd pick Greg Hardy as well, so and.
Well, Tom Brady doesn't beat the shit out of
Ray,
his wife.
Ray Rice and the rest of them. That's just as long as you get a result, you don't care.
Tom Brady isn't beating up women. He's not shooting people in the head just because he picks a presidential candidate that you don't like. That's not,
Okay. And just the other thing as well, you were saying, you mentioned Hoyer, like concussion, every week there seems to be a concussion related piece of news, And like, is it going to get to the stage? No, I keep kind of comparing rugby. Like, I used to play a bit of rugby, obviously, in my own time. But like, if a guy had 3 concussions in a season, that was it. Like you were saying, basically, you're advised to knock it on the head, really, for a while. Yeah. Basically,
rugby players aren't on $40 million contracts.
Basically,
yeah, basically. Basically count.
Ornery. If you don't watch it, I'm going to get ornery.
Yeah. Try and get that in a couple of more times.
Okay. So is that the news?
Yep, that's the news.
News out.
And we're just going to talk about a few of the weekend's games because after last weekend, this weekend just gone was a bit disappointing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Last weekend, the previous week's games, as I said, I was buzzing during all of it. I was Twitter-atting, just Twitter scope was on fire. I was watching this week's games. No, I wasn't as settled. I had a few other things kind of going on. I wasn't kind of tuning into the football as much. And it just, I went over into the games and I hadn't done one tweet. There was nothing really grabbing my attention. It just was one of those weeks, I suppose. You can't, obviously, if you have to have highs and lows, otherwise it's for the dramatic effect. So hopefully this week will be different. So like, what were the major? I suppose the biggest result or shock of the week was the Raiders overcoming a 12-point deficit. And basically, we're just trying to put that Raiders bet to bed with Decky and Cuevas. And the Raiders come storming back into the equation yet again. And they managed to pull off the win even without a long snapper. Yeah. They're 3 points up in the fourth quarter after getting a touchdown. And they go for 2 points. They go for the 2-pointer because they don't have a long snapper. There's nobody can throw the ball to the holder for Janikowski to put over to make it more than I mean, what's the game coming to? Like
a 53-man squad. You'd think in practice they would have more than one fucking person that can handle the long snaps. It was shocking. They deserve to lose because of it. I'm thinking
about changing my. Do I have enough bulk? I must be bulky enough for that kind of crack, like.
To be a long snapper, all you need is fucking hands to do it.
Yeah, but obviously you have to be. You
don't have to move.
Yeah, but you have to be able to take up a bit of space in the front row as well, like.
Well, yeah. You certainly tick that box. For people in glass houses, we just breathe in there. Oh. But yeah, no, it was the shock result of the weekend. Cost me a nice bit of money. Waiting on them for a 6-team accumulator, but enough of my woes. Oakland, they're still alive.
And it wasn't the the famed Oakland defense or offense. It was a defense. Khalil Mack. Now, look, we've been talking about him a fair bit anyway, I suppose. But this was his, superstar breakout game. I think he had five sacks. And he's one of that rare breed of linebackers. He is a very good pass rusher, and he's pretty good at stopping the run as well. So the NFL is getting so specialized now that guys are they're either one or the other, or there's very few guys the likes of like Clay Matthews now with Green Bay would be something similar, that you can kind of flick back and forth between the two positions.
He could play anywhere along the line, really, if required.
Yeah, he's a biased of a man.
Okay, enough about that game. Another one of the kind of highlights of last weekend, we talked about it earlier, is the Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game. 33-20. Even when Dalton went off, AJ McCarron did all right, kept his team in it. But the Steelers with Williams, Bryant, Wheaton, Brown, Big Ben, that offense is just going to put up 30 points a game minimum every time.
Yeah, but I was actually looking, like Big Ben, he looks like he's
big.
He's big, isn't he? He looks
called Big Ben for nothing. He looks overweight, doesn't he?
He does, and he looks like he's running on marshmallows.
Yeah.
But
he's still so elusive for a fucking big.
Yeah,
he's a
but
big
he's like,
guy.
I was saying, Jesus Christ, I know he's probably he has a lot of padding now, and I have a bit of padding myself as well. But he is elusive, but he's one of these. He's
very mobile for a big
He's
guy.
obviously he looks quicker than he looks, or is it he's quicker than he looks? Because he looks fucking goddamn slow. But so
they're a force to be reckoned with, this Pittsburgh team.
Yeah, well, I would say
offensively.
Yeah, obviously you would say in both. Steelers are the team that you want to avoid in the AFC, and I would say the Seahawks are the team that you want to avoid in the NFC. Yeah.
They're the two foreign teams, yeah. What else do we have here? Oh, the Thursday night game, Cardinals and the Vikings. Cardinals just got home after the Vikings were in field goal range. Am I right in saying this? And they took a sack that took them out of field goal range.
Yeah, it was third. It was like basically the game was up. There was 20 seconds left in the game, I think. They had a third and maybe about 7 or something from 30 yards out. So it was, it was well within field goal range.
It was 48 yarder if it was on 30.
Yeah. So and basically they just wanted to,
get an
extra few yards.
And ended up.
And obviously, you're told that there in that scenario, whatever you do, you got to throw the ball dead. Obviously, that's one preemptive, and the other absolute cardinal rule is do not get sacked. And obviously, the one with that, do not get sacked and lose and fumble.
He had plenty of time to
and
throw
lose
it away
the ball.
too.
Yeah. So that was.
It wasn't like he just got steamrolled.
Yeah,
he had time to throw it away. He was moving back in the pocket. And he could have thrown it away.
It was a mental error. It was a complete bad mental error. Yep. So Zimmer wasn't that happy with him afterwards.
And the Cardinals roll on as the 2 seed. Don't think they can. Well, they technically can catch the Panthers for the 1 seed, but it's unlikely to happen with the remaining games.
Yeah, and obviously just quick, the Panthers machine just absolutely steamrolled the Falcons.
Shutout.
Who are the Falcons are probably the worst team in the NFL at this stage. No, I would say
they are.
They're the worst. After that 5-0 start, it's just things have just gone to Hames.
They've won one of the last.
They've won and Matt Ryan again threw a few interceptions. He looks like he just can't throw the ball out of his way, But still, Julio Jones is still putting up the numbers. Obviously, Devontae Freeman.
Since he got injured that time, he hasn't.
And
there's been the same.
Nobody
guy.
stepped up. The man Devin Coleman was it. It just But they need to have a big chat with themselves. Pity though, because obviously Dan Quinn came from the Seahawks, and his star was big time in the bright after the first few games, but it was more style over substance. All right, so that's about it. Is it from last week's games?
Just mentioned that the Jags put up the joint highest score of the season, 51 points against the hapless Colts with their
Yeah, and most of
melee
that
shit
was
quarterback.
in the second half because they were actually were they 14-9 at halftime, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And they missed the point after, and then they just went to town in the second half. Yeah, good to see the good old boys down in Jacksonville having a bit of a laugh. Like, and I suppose, maybe the one thing about last week's games, it's unseasonably warm actually in the States at the moment. There was a lot of rain. It was kind of that miserable, and like they're used to, I suppose the QBs can handle playing in the cold, but some of them obviously hate playing in the cold. The really, really, really cold. But I think rain is just it makes for bad football if it's raining. They can't throw the ball at all. So that was a major effect on the game. Effect. That's a very ornery word to get out.
There we go again.
Basically.
All
right, so will we just go on to do the picks?
This week's picks. Last week, I had 8 and Mike had 6. So pretty poor. Back to the shitty performances. But I have a 5-point overall lead going into week 15.
It could come down to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, loads of games left, so let's not worry. Okay, we'll start off with the Bucks travel to the Rams on Thursday Night Football in a very uninspiring fixture. The spread is the Rams at home -1.5. Now the Bucks had a bad loss at home this week, and the Rams had a very good win when it looked like all was going tits up for them. So I'm going to take the Rams to have another home win here, -1.5.
All right, it's one of these games where I have to go against you.
Yeah, so you're going against me there. There's much to talk about in this particular game. Okay, we go to the Jets. Jets go to Jerry World after, they're on a 3 or 4 game winning streak now where they're putting up a lot of points in each game. Fitzy and the Jets, they've been impressive.
Fitzy, in fairness, he's been very solid. He's had 1 or 2 games where he's played badly, but in general he's been very good.
But it wouldn't surprise me for him, just all of a sudden go on the road to Dallas and just, not turn up.
Look, Dallas are abject. At the same time, they actually gave Green Bay a bit of a game last weekend. But Des Bryant, I know he's not having a great season. He's still he started badly and he's ending up worse. There's nothing going right for him. But at the same time, he's a bit of a lula and he gets what he deserves, I think, at the same time,
If it gets...
Basically.
You can get at him mentally because he's,
Yeah, he's just not he's not making any... and there was actually last week, there was another... McCarthy threw another challenge flag on a catch and that was overturned again, wasn't it? So Bryant just, he just seems to be at the centre of this catch scenario. Well, actually, just another bit of news. They're reviewing the catch rule. Philbin they've started off another committee to look at the catch rule and try and make it understandable. Because week in, week out, was it a catch? Was that not a catch? And it's just football. What's the terminology? Make a football movement or football action or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, that's extremely boring. So we'll.
It is boring, but it's like when it comes down to the playoffs, then and it's all of a sudden, the whole world is going, what the fuck?
No, but even when the new rules are in, someone's going to be giving out about it.
Oh, of course,
it's just the nature of the rule. What is catch? I mean, some people are going to give out about it. Other people aren't. No matter what the final rule of it is,
Yeah. Okay.
It's spread here. Like the Cowboys won't score a lot of points with that offense, but their defense is good enough. So the spread is 3 points to them at home. So I'd take the Jets -3. Seems like a bit of a no-brainer.
Dallas are +3.
Yeah, at home.
Who's going to be the quarterback here? Is
Castle.
there talk? Is Castle still going to be the quarterback? Yeah,
Yep.
because
Well-
he was abysmal.
Well, what's the other option?
Is
They got someone else, didn't they?
Brandon did they? Brandon Whedon
No, they
was
let-
signed. He
they
was
let him go.
let him go, and he got signed up by.
There was another one of these sub QBs doing the rounds signed up.
Matt Schaub? No, is he?
No, that's
he's
the
gone
Ravens.
to
Anyway.
Ravens.
It's going to be. It's not going to be Romo.
Yeah,
so that's the main thing.
No, I'm with the Jets here.
All right. Falcons go to the Jags. Jags are -3 at home, and the Falcons, as I say every week, are the worst team in football. And just after putting up 51 points on Indy last week, fancy the Jags to cover this one.
You just changed your pick from a while ago.
No, I didn't.
You said you weren't going to go with the Jags.
I said I hate going with the Jags because they've let me
Oh,
down
right,
so
yeah.
many times.
Okay.
But when they're against
Yeah.
the Falcons,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I'd take the London Monarchs to beat the fucking Falcons if they're still a London team.
Cork Admirals.
Yeah, it's Cork Admirals.
Shout out.
Shout out to the
shout out
Cork
to Cork
Admirals. Get in
Admirals.
touch with me for fuck's sake.
Stuart Donaldson. Come on, we've been meant to interview him for the last 10 weeks at this stage. No, it'll happen one of these years. Yeah, I have to go with the Jags again.
Okay, the Bills go to the Skins. Skins +1 at home. Taking the Bills. -1.
Ooh. This is interesting. I suppose the Bills, they're pretty much out of the playoff picture now, and the other thing I wanted to say was about the guy that was on this actually he rang us last week. I got a phone call here from Shady wanting to talk to me about Chip Kelly, but I couldn't actually. I missed his call. But he was dissing Chip Kelly, dissing the Eagles, everything, and he had a good enough game last week. He had 100 yards, but the Bills lost, and Shady was unavailable for comment afterwards. And as I said, it shows you just what
I have nothing to say.
what a classless guy. Like, this is the guy now that apparently tipped a waitress something like 3 cents or 5 cents 2 years ago after having a big meal. He is living in his own cocoon there, Like, obviously these guys are superstars, and they must be surrounded by a lot of yes men, and they start believing their own hype a bit. But completely classless guy, and he's actually found his home in the Bills, because in fairness, Rex Ryan is, Rex Ryan and the Bills, he inherited a winning team last year, and he's actually made them worse. And he's meant to be a defensive guru. They're giving away penalties. I think they're the most penalised team. Well, generally the Seahawks were the most penalised team. I say the Bills are the most penalised team. No, they're giving away.
That's what's catching them now.
They're giving away a lot of penalties and extending the opposition's drives, and so many times that's just getting. But anyway,
Paper, I think they're good. They've got good offense. They've got decent defense.
yeah. Well, Tyrod Taylor has been revelation.
They've had a tough schedule though. So
They've had a tough schedule, and they're in a tough division as well. Let's be honest.
yeah. All right. So are you going with me or against me?
I suppose you have to. Well, the Skins are. They're back on top. Well, the Giants are on top now by head to head.
No, they're not. I heard that too, but I just looked at the table a minute ago. Because the Giants are 2-3 in the division, the other two are 2-2, so the Giants are actually third.
Okay.
Skins are top
But they're all
on divisional.
on divisional thing, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are they? 6 and 7.
Our colleagues, our mentors at around the NFL, said that the Giants were top of the division too. But according to NFL.com, they're incorrect.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, even the greatest get things wrong.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, Bills or
So
Skins?
basically,
Come on, let's get off this one.
I'm gonna look. I know the Skins have won nothing away.
They're at home.
The Skins are at home.
Yes.
Oh, I'll take the Skins. So yeah.
Right.
Oh, I thought it was up in Orchard Park.
No. Okay, Panthers try and keep their undefeated season going, and this is their only tough matchup really left in the last three. They go to the Giants, if you can consider this a tough matchup, which I do. I don't think it'll be easy. Don't think they're going to steamroll the Giants in the Meadowlands. Giants had a good win Monday night. ODB is just...
Odell Beckham had a good win.
yeah, but I mean, he's just...
He is the Giants.
Yeah, he's great. Even though Rashad Jennings had a half-decent game at running back for the first time this season, so... And they have something to play for, the Giants. So, that's it. I'm taking the Panthers, -5.
Yeah.
5 seems a bit on the low side. So, whenever you can get the Panthers minus a touchdown or less, you should take it.
Yeah, I think I'll have to agree with you on that one.
Now, I hope they lose. But, it won't
There'll
make
be a bit of dabbing.
won't really make a difference.
Giants will have to get a few extra footballs into the stadium. The usual. Giving away 10 footballs every game at this stage now, nearly.
Yeah. Okay, the Bears go to the Vikings, divisional matchup. Vikings have lost a couple on the bounce, have surrendered their divisional lead to the Packers, but they have had a tough schedule. So now they have a home game against the Bears, -5.5, and they should cover this. IMO.
Oh. This is, this is another one of those season-defining kind of games.
The Vikings went to Arizona and gave them a very good game, and we're unlucky not to go to overtime, considering that sack that we were talking about earlier.
But at the same time, then is that going to be? It depends how Terry Bridgewater responds to
Terry.
Terry. Did I say Terry again?
I thought you were actually saying it for comedic. That's the
The brain cells. Well, look. Actually, that's our new thing now. Terry.
Yeah.
He's Terry to us.
So I actually thought you were saying it because it's like one of our podcast jokes, but you are actually just simple.
You're going with the Vikes here, yeah?
Yep.
Come on, Matt Forte. I'm going to go with the Bears. It's sink or swim at this stage now. I'm 5 games back.
Okay, the Texans go to Indy. We reckon that luck still won't be ready, so it's going to be Clipboard Jesus against TJ Yates.
Kick me Jesus through the goalposts alive.
And
the battle of the backups.
Clipboard Jesus
Backity
will
backups.
never, ever get a win in the NFL as starting quarterback, so I'm taking the Texans. We have no spread here because we don't know officially that Andrew Luck is out, but it looks like that he will be out. Yeah.
I can actually see, like, what's the point in even bringing Luck in at this stage? No, the season. Well,
Because they still have the division to play for.
With a chance for but even if they win the division, they're not going to win any. They're not going to win any playoff game.
I know, yeah, but they can say the divisional
They'll
champions.
still have they'll have their flag up on the stadium there, Lucas Oil Stadium.
Or they can do the big reveal.
And what
like they
about
did.
they get the T-shirt, the hat and T-shirt day, isn't it? Divisional champions. Free T-shirt. As you know, I'm a good man for the old free clothing. Loves me a free T-shirt or a free hoodie. So what's the cold? There's no spread.
Tangent man, do. Tangent
Colts.
man strikes again.
Colts at home.
Yeah.
Texans away.
Yes. Is there any other tangent you want to fly off on now? Like, how'd you get on shopping yesterday? That reminds me.
Texans.
Yeah, you're taking the Texans. Jesus Christ. Even if you've never seen a game of American football before, you take the Texans. All right, KC go to the Ravens. After an uninspiring 10-3 home win at the weekend against San Diego. KC go to the Ravens, who are, just...
KC, yeah, but at the same time, it was Philip Rivers did his very, very best to keep the Chargers into that game. I think they got 3 4th downs where it was like 4th and long, 4th and 10, I think, each time. And they had a bit of a goal line stand. Chiefs eventually held them out. So I trust the Chiefs.
For the third time in 4 games, San Diego scored 3 points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, yeah, what's his name? Antonio Gates made a couple of clutch clutch catches and a couple of clutch throws. Rivers is actually playing well with what he's got in front of him. But anyway, back to the Chiefs at the obviously you're going with the Chiefs, yeah?
No, I'm taking the Ravens plus 7.5
Wow.
because the Chiefs' offense was awful at the weekend. They couldn't get anything going. And I think they'll win, but I don't think they'll cover the 7.5.
Okay. Well, that's I'll
You go against me there.
I'll go against you there, yeah.
Okay. Now the Titans go to New England. Spread here is a big 14. I had picked the Patriots initially. Then I switched to the Titans, and
No, you're switching back.
now I'm
again.
switching back to the Patriots again. Because the Titans got a good spanking at the Jets last weekend, and I know the Jets are playing well, but 14 is a lot. You see, I hate taking teams minus 14 because it's a lot of points. But I think with the Gronk back and
The Gronk is the what's any news on
Edelman's back
Edelman?
practicing, I don't think
Edelman
he'll
is-
make this game.
Yeah.
I mean, the Patriots are going to win. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But 14 is, I think they'll win by 14, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But I'll take them minus 14. I've flipped around. I'm going to take them minus 14.
Okay, I'll go with the Pats on this one as well, yeah.
Okay. The Browns go to Seahawks. This is a 14.5 point spread.
Wow.
Browns had their first win in quite some time under Johnny Football last week. They looked okay, but Seahawks are, the form team at the moment, putting up 30 plus points every game. But I'm taking the Browns plus 14.5.
Oh, straight in for the Seahawks there, yeah. I think Russell Wilson has a passer rating of something like 155 for the last four game winning streak. Something like 19 touchdowns or something, is it?
We can expect the passing to keep going with their running back issues.
Yeah, well, we'll see who's going to slot in there at the running back. Obviously, Fred Jackson will take up a bit of the slack, and Marshawn Lynch is definitely ruled out this week as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Jackson will be the third down back and the receiving back, and it looks like Bryce Brown is going to get the first and second down action. But how well he'll do.
I will see how
with no game time.
my man Darnell.
Oh, Darnell Lockett.
Darnell Lockett.
Twin brother of Tyler.
Oh no, it's Darnell Dockett.
Darnell Dockett.
Darnell Dockett, Tyler Lockett. Yeah.
But there is another Lockett.
Lockett and
I've
check
seen
it.
him on the fantasy thing.
Lockett and check it.
I don't remember what his Christian name is. Lockett, Dockett, Welker, Decker.
Grab it and fetch it.
And Terry Bridge. Right, you're going with the Hawks minus 14.5. That's a lot. But anyway, onwards. Now, another game of the week that we had picked out is Green Bay go to Oakland. You can get Oakland at home plus 3 points. Green Bay, wouldn't say had a great win against Cowboys. They should be beating the Cowboys hands down anyway. I'm taking Green Bay minus 3.
Okay, I have to go with Oakland here, and just fingers crossed. I know Amari Cooper just seems to have fallen off the face of the planet. Maybe he's being double teamed a lot, I think, as well. And Crabtree seems to be getting a lot of the balls directed at him to catch.
He just signed a 4-year contract extension.
Yeah, the usual.
Is it 40 million?
I think it was 25 million.
25 million.
Which is still, I thought,
Close.
pretty big money. Big money. I didn't even think that
big money for
Crabtree.
the likes of
How
him.
old is Crabtree? I thought he was in his 30s at this stage. I suppose wide receivers have a they don't take as much punishment as the boys, as the running backs and stuff. The number 10 for the Raiders. I can't remember what his name is now. He sneaked in a few touchdowns as well there. So we'll see. I said this week in, week out. It all the Packers game all depends on Eddie Lacy. If Eddie Lacy turns up, the rest of the team functions. But if Eddie Lacy doesn't show up, and he had a couple of barnstorming runs there now in the last final quarter against Dallas, and the lads, he nearly got in for a 40-yard touchdown there at one stage. He just fell just short shy of the line. What's his name? Coons had a nice run, and Starks had a touchdown. So they're getting the running game back in order. And then I think once they get the running game sorted, the passing game seems to kind of slot into place. So we'll see. Hopefully the Khalil Mack and Malcolm Smith and Co and Charles Woodson can keep the boys under control.
Hopefully not, because if they win this game, then I'm fucked for the bet, because they play San Diego at home next week, which is more than likely a guaranteed win.
Yeah.
But I need Green Bay to win this week, and then we go to a showdown in Kansas City on the last day of the season. Kansas City could well already be qualified for in the wild card position.
I think the AFC is going to go down to the wire, so that there'll be nobody. There's going to be no team in a wild card spot resting any players. I mean, if you're top of the table, you can take a chance, but lower down, you're playing your full team.
Okay, so on to the next game. Cincinnati and AJ McCarron go to the 49ers, who got stuffed by the Browns.
They're the 49ers mini revival after Blaine Gabbert. That just
ground to a halt.
Came unstuck. The mighty Browns sorted that out. What spread here?
The spread here is 4.5 to San Francisco, and I think that San Francisco
San Fran are getting 4.5 at home.
Yeah, I think they've been a different team at home. So I'm taking the points at home with the home team.
It's kind of you're opening the door for me there. So I shall take the Benny Gallies.
Okay.
And just to let you know, our man in Ohio, El Foxarino, is back on terra firma. Had a few points at him there at the weekend.
Tangent man, do.
I thought I was the funny guy. I thought you were the straight guy. I'm the funny guy.
We're
doing a bit of role reversal here again. I
just have to say it though.
Okay,
our listeners are really interested that a guy is back from a fucking 6-month jolly up in the States.
Moving on.
Okay, another one. Well, final one of our three kind of highlights of the weekend. The Broncos go to the Steelers. Broncos, after that horrific result at Oakland, or at home to Oakland at the weekend, go to the Steelers, who are scoring points for fun. Spread is 6.5 at home. Against, I know Broncos are the best defense in the league. Still, do they? They probably do. But I don't think any defense can stop this prolific offense scoring 30-odd points. So I'm taking the Steelers at home to cover 6.5.
Wow, that's a pretty big spread, isn't it? It's a toughie. You'd have to think that is there going to be a bit of a bounce back for the Broncos after last week's result.
Offensively, they were terrible.
Brock has another week of reps under his belt. But like saying that, Vernon Davies made a couple of key drops. Sanders made a drop. Savage, really bad drop as well, didn't he? And actually,
Demaryius Thomas is having an awful season.
But Emmanuel Sanders, like one of the key plays in the Raiders match, was when he muffed the kick.
Oh yeah.
That was the turning point in the game.
Yeah.
So the special teams seem to cost them.
But that said, Osweiler couldn't move the ball either. It was just a bad week for everybody involved.
Oh,
the lights are out.
it's cozy. All right, yeah, I think the light just went.
The bulb is gone.
Oh, it's
Hey,
back
there
on.
we go.
The Pine Lodge ghost is making an
Ghost.
appearance. How does that happen?
I don't know.
Tangent man.
I just thought you'd throw in a dodgy bulb into the fucking mix.
Okay, I'm going to go with the Broncos here, right? I think they're going to, as I said, it's getting down to that time of the season. They obviously they want to have a home game, so it's all coming down to trying to get the bye, tie up the bye at this stage. Yeah, obviously then the Steelers. This is the game of the week, definitely, isn't it? There's no
Yeah,
other
it
game
is.
with as much on the line here.
No.
Okay, I'm going to go Broncos.
Okay.
Broncos.
Next game, Miami Dolphins go to the San Diego Chargers.
Oh my God.
Oy. This is pretty awful stuff. So, as I always do in these situations,
pick
take
the
the
good
team that
tip.
has the points. Miami +2. The Chargers are actually play better on the road than they do at home, because at home there's more away fans there than there are home fans, allegedly.
Newsflash: there's more of the other team's fans at the away games as well.
I know. You got me there.
I thought that logic is crazy.
Yeah, but their home form is terrible.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I was just extolling the virtues of Philip Rivers and Antonio Gates. Look, they made a couple of clutch. Well, this was in the 2-minute warning. Come on, Bolts, Chargers, you can do it. So we've a good few different picks.
Yeah, we do. So it should make for interesting reading next week. 2 more games. Cardinals go to Philly. This was one that was a tough pick. Philly are on a good run after a good win at home against the Bills last week, a decent team. You can get them +3.5 at home. Cardinals squeaked past the Vikings at home last week, but are, a top
the
3
Eagles,
NFL team.
The Eagles still they don't look comfortable. They've put a few games together. Obviously, their confidence is getting a bit better, but at the same time, they don't inspire me with confidence at all.
Well, if you're going to go against me, you're going to have to pick them, because I took the Cardinals -3.5.
Yeah, well, it's a no-brainer.
Okay.
Cards.
And finally, the Monday Night Football, the Detroit Lions go to the Saints. At least it's not.
Oh my
at
God!
least
Another one of these.
At least it's not an NFC East game, which it usually is on a Monday night. The Lions, just as they were kind of making a bit of ground, they lost to the Hail Mary throw against the Packers, but then they went to the Rams, who were on an awful run, and then got stuffed at the weekend. So I think the Lions are after dipping. The Hail Marys had a bad effect.
That's after puncturing their revival.
And the Saints had a good win at the Bucks, an informed Bucks team at the weekend.
Yeah, that was.
And put it up to the Panthers the week before. So Saints -3 at home. Will I make this my nap of the week? Yes, I will.
You're going all in on the Saints here.
Yeah, I think the Saints -3 at home.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go with the Lions here. I have some soft spot for the Lions. And as I said, I think Sean Payton is just another one of these classless individuals. As I was saying to you earlier on down the bar in our pre-production meeting, I'm always saying, give Cam a chance, and then I'm just totally down on top of Jeff Fisher and Sean Payton. I think they blame everybody else apart from themselves for their team's abject failure. So yeah, come on, Lions.
Yeah, that's our picks done. So for the weekend ahead, week 15. Lastly, but not leastly, we go on to
fantasy.
Pine Lodge Fantasy. See what the
I'll just bring up the
graphic.
Oh, that's
That's our Facebook page, people.
Facebook page.
Those who haven't liked it yet, please do.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Oh, what am I doing?
So we had the wild card weekend just gone by. where we had, let's have a look at the matchups here, see what the scores were. Champagne Fever beat Nasib Erection 127 to 93, and I think was leading pretty much from start to finish. Very impressive score, 127. Let's see who got his most. Was Drew Brees got 20. Wes Welker got 13. Oh no, sorry, Eric Decker. Got to get that joke in every week. AJ Green was his monster, really, getting 19.2 points. He's really having a great finish to the season. Oh, and Carolina Panthers are his defense. 28 points for a defense. It's it was against the Falcons, who are just, they're hapless at the moment. So that's where he won it, really, at wide receiver and with the D. Frank Gore didn't really perform for Nasib or Alan Robinson, who had been putting up some good points of late.
Yeah, Frank Gore has just fallen off the cliff.
The other wild card match. Brady is a cheat. Decky beat Polly 123 to 97.
Oh, that's I think Polly was on super form.
He was. I mean, Polly was going into the match to get 6 wins on the bounce, but he has had quarterback issues, and that really was his issue again this week. Jameis Winston.
He picked up Jameis Winston, and he had one of those weeks where he didn't have the 30 points.
Yeah, he only had 13. And is it Steve or Sean Drawn? I think it's Sean Drawn.
Sean Drawn Bannock.
Yeah. Had a bad day for San Fran as RB1. Only got 5 points. Brandon Marshall scored very well for him again. Antonio Brown only had 8.7. He would have been expecting a good 15-20 out of him.
Yeah.
He just had Polly just had mediocre scores from everyone all the way. His kicker only got 3, and Decky's team, just had a lot of Malcolm Floyd, great score. Ted Ginn, Jesus, 24.5 points. It's unheard of.
He's just Ted Ginn is, and he probably had 2 or 3 drops in that as well.
Yeah.
He like Cam is just finding him in open so many times.
Yeah, he's just so speedy.
Yeah,
he just outrun the cornerbacks. And Decky's Carson Palmer, put up the usual 20 points.
You're up against.
So in the semi-finals, I play Decky next week. Projections are at the moment I'm projecting 115. He's projecting 108. Rogers versus Palmer at QB. I'd fancy that Palmer probably Rogers rarely gets over 20 points because the GB offense has not been firing on all cylinders. Now, neither of our lineups are finalized, but just the ones that we have in at the moment. My running backs are D'Angelo Williams and Lamar Miller against Chris Ivory and Doug Martin. I mean, that could go. As with anything, that really could go either way.
I'll just look at the game center here now.
Yeah, can you get up the thing there? I think D'Angelo Williams will outscore the other 3, but I think Miller could well get the lowest score of the 4. So I think I might have the best and the worst running back in those 4.
Yeah, but against San Diego, Miller got 2 touchdowns earlier on against the Giants, and then Ryan Tannehill said, "No, we don't want to win this game. I think I'll throw the ball 40 times instead,
that was bizarre.
rather than giving you were scoring touchdowns."
Yeah,
the more weird I see of Tannehill, the more like a spoiled brat he appears to be. I mean, he's not one of these cosseted players that he just doesn't have a clue. I think in the real world,
he's had a horrible season as the whole.
But he's another one of these guys now. Like this,
the whole franchise is in big trouble.
He's on a $1 million contract, 5 or 6 years, and he is mediocre. There's mediocre players out there. giving out about being called mediocre in comparison to Ryan Tannehill. Like, he's yuck.
Okay, so then we have at the wide receiver position, I have at the moment Sammy Watkins and Martavis Bryant against Ted Ginn and Malcolm Floyd. So it's hard.
Pretty, yeah.
It's Ted Ginn could score 1 point or he could score 25 points. You just don't know with him.
Well, they seem to be.
Same with Sammy Watkins.
Cam is spreading the ball around so well. He's hitting
they go to the Giants,
5 or 6 targets,
so
but he seems to be like he's the big. If he hooks up, it's usually on a deep ball, and it's like one of these 10-point touchdown.
Yeah.
You know, it's 40 yards and the 6 points.
He's not a slot receiver. He's a deep baller. And Bryant didn't have a good week last week, but Ben has 3 between.
Well, that's going to be a tighter game as well. You know, Denver defense, that's their strength. So we'll see how he matches up.
Yeah, and Floyd had a stormer last week, but again, Palmer has options at wide receiver between John Brown and JJ Nelson, the rookie. He's got plenty of people to throw the ball to, so hopefully it won't be Floyd this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see how the Philly pass rush matches up against the Cardinals O-line there.
At tight end, Jordan Reed against Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen had a bit of an injury issue during the game last weekend, but he seems to be okay. He seems to have recovered from that.
Yeah, John Brown at the flex position. John Brown had a massive game there, didn't he?
No,
was it last week or the week before? Was it?
No, he's just kind of fluctuating between like 9 and 15 points.
Is he? Yeah,
but I mean, he rarely has a bad week, but he hasn't had a 2 or 3 touchdown.
Yeah,
week.
well, I'd say Doug Martin is going to struggle to get the 12 points that he's projected here against the St. Louis, the Rams. That's the run defense is one of what they're built around, I suppose.
All right, let's go to the other semi-final. Have a quick look at that. We got Patrick's Pint Lodgers against Dean's Champagne Fever. Oh, look at the projections. Pint Lodgers projecting 114.56 versus Dino's 114.3.
And there was a one of those little red box thingies there. If it's a tied score, it comes down to percentage or something, is it? I don't know. We'll have a look at that actually in a minute, because actually there's another issue that we have to talk about as well.
I don't think that we're going to have a tight score with 2 decimal places in operation.
Yeah, well, it can happen. Like, it can happen.
Oh, of course, can happen. Asteroids can fucking come down and
so
smash
Patrick's
the world
Point
up.
Lodgers, the team of auto draftees makes it to the semi-final, and Dino, after a poor enough start to the season, kind of got his shit together and pulled off I would say a surprise win against Polly last week.
Well, they both had good teams, but yeah, Polly was the form horse, and he gave him a good 30-point beating. Yeah. Patrick is Fitzy at quarterback against Drew Brees. I think Drew Brees could put up a big score at home to
in the shootout bowl.
Yeah, at home to Detroit on Monday night. Fitzy at the Cowboys, can't see him putting up a big score. Dallas have a good D. Like a good score, as in I could see Breeze getting 40 points. Fitzy might get 3 touchdowns at best, so I think we'll give that one to Breeze. We got AP and Gio Bernard against Theo Riddick and Devontae Freeman.
Javarius Allen, running back of Baltimore.
Yeah, Javarius Allen, yeah. He came in.
Oh, look, Wes Welker. Oh, sorry, it's Eric Decker.
Twice.
I thought Evans went off injured, I think, didn't he, last week for Tampa, didn't he?
He's not going to play Javarius Allen, I don't think. When he's got Gio Bernard. I've got a different team
in the flex.
But yeah, Patrick is in trouble at running back. Riddick is probably not going to get you a whole lot of points, and Devontae Freeman has just fallen off the cliff.
Theo Riddick I suppose he's more of a third down back, really, isn't he?
Yeah. and a kind of a slot receiver as well. Yeah. And Devontae Freeman, since he got injured, hasn't been the same guy. Hasn't been putting up the numbers. So again, champagne fever has the advantage here, in my opinion.
When your team scores 0, it's hard to kind of get good fantasy points. He's got the Gronk, so the Gronk is his second game back maybe, and against Tennessee that could be one. Kyle Rudolph is never really going to rack up that many points.
He's got DeAndre Hopkins though, who Patriots shut them down, but he goes to Indy against Clipboard Jesus and Co. So he could put up some serious scores there.
Okay, we'll see. Yep. All right, and we just have a quick look at the consolation. I'm playing Choppers in the semi-final of the consolation, and Lucky Jimmy is up against Duff, so we won't actually go into too much detail on those games there, all right? But good to see Duff actually putting a few wins together at the end of the season when it looked like he was going to go just win one game for the whole year. And Lucky Jimmy, maybe a bit of glory for him in his first season. He's done pretty well.
Yep.
Okay. All right. That's about it, lads. We were supposed to have our viewers' question. Now we actually did get one here, but you know what? It's from my buddy Finn O'Driscoll. I'm gonna actually read out the question, and you know what we'll do? We'll do it next week, okay? Because you're kind of in a rush home now at this stage.
Yeah, we'll finish.
We'll do it. So basically, the question is, we'll address this next week. Shout out to Finn anyway. He's at home at the moment with a bad sinus, so he's not working. So he's just doing bollocks around. So he's one of my Boom Beach buddies. So he's booming the beach. Tangents. So the question is, as a 49ers fan, I cannot believe how far they've fallen in 3 years, coming from a close Super Bowl against the Ravens. What positions on the field do you think need strengthening the most, and is it too early to consider booting Tom Sula? Thanks. So look, I actually had a chat with him about this the other night, so I said put in a question. So look, we'll actually have a look at the 49ers next week, because I think they have major issues in the behind the scenes. What's his name? Trent Balke is the GM. Ted, what's his name? York. I can't remember his first name.
All right, look, we'll talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week.
Anyone of any other questions? Feel free to leave them on the Facebook page.
Yeah, so we'll try, maybe if we get another question, we'll do 2 readers' questions next week. So Finn, that's actually quite a detailed question. I wouldn't want to just kind of go bluffing at it straight away. But anyway, okay, lads. That's about it, I suppose. We'll just go back to here we are. So lads, thanks very much. The usual story, we plea for give us a like, give us a share, follow us on Twitter, NFL Cork Accent, like our Facebook page. We want to get the 100 likes on the Facebook page, and just keep in touch.
If you haven't done so already, please do.
Okay, boys.
Thanking you.
Thanking you, and
over and out.
Over and out.